Welcome to Subramani. I'm going to give you my views on 2022, and it is not going to be very easy. So, first of all, we have got very good returns in 2020 and 21. Whether you like it or not, the COVID actually created a lot of wealth for the really wealthy people. So 2020-21 were good, so don't expect to get great returns in 2022. That is the caveat. Money will flow out of the markets. I know many people who have removed money from the equity markets and bought themselves houses, so they may have borrowed some money also, but large portion. If somebody has bought a 5 crore house, maybe 3.5 crores would have been funded out of equity market profit. So some money has come out of equity markets to fund housing. But it has also happened that people have seen that real estate returns were not so great. Maybe they're getting 4%, 5%, 6% at best. And so a lot of people have come out of those markets and also got into equity markets. So both ways things have happened. So I do not know whether more profit taking has happened and people have bought real estate, or more people are frustrated with real estate have come into equity markets. That's almost impossible to find out. But having lower expectation always helps. So in 1 year, if you've got 30% and the average return that you get in equities is say 12%, then very logically, if you're just taking 2 years at a stretch, then 30 has to be followed by a minus 18, right? So it has to compensate for the other return, right? So this year returns will be definitely less than what you got last year. It has got to be a figure which is much less. So the average has to be 12. So it is already 30. So you've got some of your returns upfront. That's all, right? So obviously some of the returns could be gone. One thing which we are seeing very clearly is the FII selling. So why is the FII selling happening? Maybe in anticipation of the Fed tapering, and therefore and Fed has very clearly said that 2022 and 2023 they will end this madness of printing notes or pumping more money, so that if that stops, some of your trades have to stop where people were borrowing in the US and investing in India. So this had to happen. Now this happens not only to India, which means a lot of money will go out from India into maybe US. It will go out of China, it will go out of Indonesia, it may go even out of Japan. So the money will flock to the US. So therefore, the US market could do better than the other emerging markets. So a shift could happen from emerging markets to developed markets. That is one thing which can happen, may happen. And when the money is limited, people get to put, like if you have limited resources, you will invest only in India, right? But if you are an Indian, but if you are an American and you were taking a view on foreign countries, you may suddenly decide that no, let me shrink my geography, let me not invest abroad, let me invest in India. A lot of Indians are now investing in the US, so the fund flow into US will not fall very badly. And if the dollar strengthens and the rupee weakens, your return from US markets will improve even more. So that annual 2%, 3% which you are almost guaranteed in terms of currency depreciation may become 4%. So your return from the US market could go up also because of currency changes. But yes, the bias could shift from being in developed markets to the developed markets. So that is one thing which can happen. And when the US reduces interest rates, some money may come off equity markets, but it will go back because they'll say, oh, now the asset pricing will be better, now people will have more value for things, right? So when you got money free, you just bought whatever you want. Now the efficiencies will happen. People will say, oh, this share is not worth so much. So there will be some shakeout at the lower level, but I don't think a Google or a Facebook is going to get sold into. Maybe a little bit, but not really too much to worry about, right? So if you are in those companies which are high tech, and when I say high tech, I also mean I constantly mean Facebook, Amazon, etc., because they are also investing in technology and constantly buying and taking over smaller companies. So I would still be optimistic about the US markets, and I still think the returns would be above average than what you were getting. So I'm not very negative on the US market. I think US market a better price than Indian markets. There will always be dividends, there will be buybacks, so some money will get thrown at you because of your holding in US markets. And I'm anti LRS to that extent that I would hold US only through an Indian fund house which has got a US scheme, and I think today almost everybody has it. So dividends will be back in fashion, even though dividends are taxable. So you will not get dividends because you're in a growth scheme. I mean, I would always be in a growth option in a mutual fund, and I can decide when to pay the tax. So I will pay tax whenever I withdraw the money, and that could be after 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever. I don't need to do anything on a day-to-day basis. But I'm not saying that the returns are going to be great, but I'm just saying that the returns are going to be better perhaps even than the Indian market. I would think you would get something it will be very low single digit, maybe 7-8%, but you add another 2-3% of dollar gain to it, so that could improve even better. I think maybe even European equities will not do too badly, and you will get your dividends, etc. I mean, the fund will get, and therefore you will get some growth because of the dividends. Also remember, the MSCI emerging markets, 40% is made up of China. So China has to do well for the MSCI index to do well, unless of course they change the weightage. China might not be aiming for growth because they got a lot of internal issues. So I'm not very optimistic about China's political position to push for growth. When you are trying to battle other things, growth takes a backseat. So it's not that they're struggling for survival, but they will have enough political worries. So I'm not very optimistic about China. I'm more optimistic about large cap than I am about small cap, and of course there will always be cyclical markets. So should you be buying steel, should you be selling steel, I really don't know on all that. But let us also accept that inflation will be high. It is already high, and but inflation will also come down as the bottlenecks retreat. The semiconductor problem and things like that will go. Volatility will always be there. There is no way how volatility will go down. Global growth might come back, but it could still be lower than 2021. That is also the base effect, because 2021 the base effect was because 2020 was very bad. But 2022 may not be too great compared to 2021 because a lot of it has already recovered. But if the logistics problems are reduced and if the shipping rates come down, global trade will definitely do well. What will happen to COVID pandemic, really don't know. I mean, very few people would hazard a guess, but I guess we will learn to live with the illness. The manufacturers of vaccines will push for booster 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think Pfizer has made a statement that the COVID pandemic will go on till 2024. I'm not so sure. I have no clue on that. So it could go on till 2023, 24, 25. We don't know. We will learn to live with precautions. We will learn to wear a mask wherever we go. We will learn to wash our hands. We will learn to wash our feet once we come back home. We will learn some of those things. We will adapt. There will be more immunity. There will be more people getting it. So herd immunity will improve. The newer versions are perhaps milder, not so many deaths happening, not in India. Yes, Europe has not handled it too well. Yes, India could also have people saying vaccine hesitancy, we will not take ये Modi vaccine हम नहीं लेंगे, all those things could happen. But I don't think that is going to be so much of a problem in India as it is in Europe. So yes, will we have a shortage of labor in India? I don't know, but in certain parts of the world we could have labor shortage, because if the labor does not get vaccinated, you cannot put them to work in their office. So those kind of irritants could be there. Will people start traveling big way? I don't know, but when you go to Indian airports, at least it's packed. You go to Indian lounges, you can't find a place to sit. So something is happening. Somebody is traveling. I do not know the load factor in say in Indigo. I do not know how the other airlines are doing. But yes, all these things, some indicators, some good, some bad. So if you are having any expectation, it should be single digits, perhaps slightly higher in US than in India. Any expectation beyond 8-9% today is absolutely foolish. You will not get it.